Hey, Midwest Conference fans. I'm Peyton Tabor here on Midwest Conference Media Day. I'm joined today by Lake Forest College wide receiver AJ Jackson. AJ, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.
Of course, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. My first question for you, what are your personal expectations for this upcoming season?
Well, Coach Cat is definitely one like a scientist. He's always in the lab cooking up something new. He's really done his best. His recruiting is always outstanding. So we have some real talent coming in. I'm definitely excited. We're hoping to go further than the first round this year, and I think that's a real possibility.
Yeah. You talk about having some really good talent coming in this season. What to you is a trait that what's a trait that you believe every good Division III football player should have?
One trait in particular, I would just say, is being willing to accept a new family's culture. And I mean, and I say that in a real general way, but specifically, you're moving into a family essentially, and gelling with that family and being one with that family's mission and goals is really important to the culture aspect of the team and keeping the team together. And I feel like that's definitely necessary as an incoming freshman.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about your team. What's the dynamic like in the locker room?
I would always say it's juice, it's live, and in reference to our coach, Coach G, our wide receivers coach. His name is actually Coach Juice, and so I feel like that was what made him fit really well with our team because we always try to keep the energy up. We always try to boost our guys, and yeah, I mean it's really a teammate first kind of aspect, kind of mindset, and I feel like that's something that most teams struggle to find, but the really great ones always have it.
What to you is the best aspect of Forester football?
I would say the best aspect of Forster football is probably our fan base. I mean, definitely as far as the D3 coming from a high school that's essentially the same size. I mean, I didn't know exactly what to expect coming to a smaller college town, but the Forester fans definitely stand out and stand out, and Farwell Field is always packed, and that's definitely something I've grown to love.
That's awesome. And speaking about the school a little bit more broadly, what's your favorite part about being a student athlete at the college?
My favorite part, I would say, is that there's never too much of an overlap between school and football. Like I always found it possible to balance the two pretty equally. I mean, especially with the small student to faculty ratio, they would always work with us athletes, whether it be like a permission slip to miss class or something like that, and give us the opportunity to make that up for full credit. I mean, at the bigger institutions, I don't know if that's necessarily something that always happens, or if the professors are so lenient and so willing to work with us, and so that's definitely helpful.
Hmm. To you, who do you think is one of the best leaders on your team and why?
One of the best leaders on our team and why? I mean, I have a couple answers, but hmm, who do I go with? I'm gonna go with Albie, Justin Albie, number 99. He's definitely someone who's grown into the limelight a little bit this past season. And definitely my junior season. I think that was the 2021 season. That was kind of the first year he started to step out more. But he's definitely grown into that leadership role because he's so much of a role model. Like all the guys look up to him, whether it's him pulling everyone together for those pregame speeches, whether we're all slacking a little bit and he's giving us that smack on the butt that everybody needs from time to time. But yeah, I would say definitely Justin Albee is one of those guys.
What's something that you've learned from him throughout your career that you're gonna, implement for yourself this season, like as coming back for your fifth year as a leader on the team?
Albie was one who suffered a big injury, and it was one that was nagging him and bothering him for a while. And watching him come back from that was really something that was motivational. I mean, among some other guys on our team who've obviously suffered some injury. I mean, playing football is kind of the name of the game. Um, but I mean, myself battling that injury, he was definitely someone who was always checking up on me, always making sure I was cool, making sure I was progressing like I should be. even sometimes making sure I'm doing my rehab. And so that was definitely something that's going to help me moving forward this season, being a better leader like him.
Okay, so speaking of your rehab, how can you talk to me a little bit about that? How was that for you, and how are you feeling going into this season?
I mean, it was kind of my first big injury, and so it was definitely a mindset battle last fall. But watching my team still come out successful with the conference championship couldn't have made me any happier.
Mhm.
Um, Moving forward this season, I feel great. I mean, I got the foot repaired, and we're ready to plant and go. We're still explosive. We're dunking, planting, running, jumping. So we're feeling good. I'm excited to get back.
I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to watch you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of your injury, you weren't on the field last year, but you've still been a part of 2 back-to-back conference championship winning teams. But what did you observe of your team last year from the sidelines? Because you were in a little bit of a different role from the previous year.
I was I would say I was less vocal last season than I was obviously when I'm on the field. I kind of let the people who are on the field take those big out in front leadership roles, and I kind of coach the little guys from the sideline, as I like to say, and just give my 2 cents where I can, and just help people be coachable and progress still. Um, but the main thing I noticed is just I was taking note of what we need to work on moving into this season, just to elevate our program even more. And I think us as a captains group, we've come together and we're really starting to hash those out and figure out how to fix them. So it was helpful having that sideline perspective. It was one I definitely haven't had in a long time, and it was very very refreshing.
Yeah. AJ, you're one of 46 guys on the team from Arizona. That is over half of your team, or almost half of your team's roster. What
Yes.
what to you made Lake Forest College such a perfect fit for you?
So for one, you mentioned the 46 guys on the team from Arizona. I was a little worried that initially when I was talking about committing, that there wouldn't be anyone on the team who understands like where I'm from. But with Coach Cat recruiting so much in Arizona, that obviously wasn't too much of a problem. Um, the summers are not 120 degrees, so that was also awesome and amazing. And I got to learn what a real coat was. I figured that was that was pretty useful. But realistically, the perfect fit was honestly the community. I mean, from the first moment I got there, I was only 17 my entire first semester at college, when I was on my visit. So I was still really young. I hadn't seen a lot, but the people over there took care of me. Like I was their little brother, and they honestly didn't even know me. So that said a lot to the character of the school, and how my 4 years would go. And I liked it.
Earlier, I asked you about your personal expectations for the season, but I'm kind of curious, what are your expectations that you have for your team as a whole this season?
Well, as a whole, I expect us to win more games than last year.
Mhm.
And last year we won 9. So we were just shy of that perfect season coming into the playoffs. I fully expect us to attain that this season. I
Mhm.
feel like we have the discipline and we have the talent. I feel like we'll be closer as a team this year. I mean, with the leadership really getting it together, and being more openly communicative, I feel like we'll be able to relay that down to the rest of the team, and it'll bring us closer, and that'll make us better.
Yeah. Since you've been at Lake Forest since your first year, the team has had so much success and you've had so much success. What excites you the most about this season?
I honestly just love football. This the bus rides. I will say the bus rides back after the games definitely excite me the most. It's not even always the on the field aspect of football that's the most fun. Sometimes it's just those 5-6 hour bus rides riding back with the guys, So everybody's all beat up talking about the game. We're waiting for the film to come out so we can all rewatch it, and it's always a good time.
Mm. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned from playing in the NCAA?
I would say, and I know it's gonna sound a little cliche, but people always say stop and smell the roses. I feel like time has just warped by, and I feel like everyone who goes through college says that, and I underestimated the legitimacy of that statement, but it is definitely flown by. I like to think I'll be done as an undergrad in December, which is 6 months away. Is insane.
It goes so fast. It in the blink of an eye, it's over.
Oh my God. I thought high school went by fast, but it was, oh my God.
I just have a couple more for you. I'm curious. Do you think it's more fun to catch a touchdown or return a kick for a touchdown?
Oh, that's a hard one. So Trey Stewart, our quarterback, he's definitely one of my best friends, and so catching a touchdown pass is definitely a great feeling. But when in order for me to return a punt, our punt return team has to really get after it, and everything has to flow pretty seamlessly. Whether it's we get good pressure on the punter or set up a good return, and Coach Cat makes the right call. So I feel like returning the punt just because it's less common.
Mm-hmm. Does that happen?
It's definitely more of a momentum changer. And so I feel like returning a punt's a little more fun.
My last question for you, AJ. At the end of the season, what do you believe will define Lake Forest College's success?
I would say Lake Forest College football's success at the end of the season will be determined by. Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. What will determine our success? All right, no, I got it. All right, so our success will definitely be determined by how well we keep our discipline, and as a program that's moving forward and elevating, maintaining discipline and the level-headedness that we had when we weren't in this position is something that's going to be paramount to maintaining it. If that makes sense, I don't know if I.
Yeah, that makes sense. Got you.
I know when a lot of programs start to get good, they start to get ahead of themselves, start to get a little big-headed. As long as we stay humble and stay on it, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys will, and that's all I had for you today. So I wish you the best of luck this season, AJ, and thank you so much for meeting with me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You are amazing.
Thank you. So are you.
I appreciate it.